We're now in the middle of December. ICPA conference was 2 months ago. The email talking about the collaboration between our New Zealand nonprofit, Common Knowledge, and ICPA was sent out a few weeks ago. We've had one person join this Facebook subgroup. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? But it's evocative of what I've experienced for 50 years in the childbirth conversation, which is a belief that it's this way. And I and the families that have asked me to come forward on their behalf would like it to be seen this way. The question that I'm most often asked is, who are you? My response has always been, who do I have to be? Well, people will say, well, you're not a childbirth educator, you're not a midwife, you're not a doula, you're not a natural birth advocate. No, I'm not. I'm just me. I'm a body worker. And I happen to work with hundreds and hundreds of families. And we developed the concept that we're asking ICPA to launch to their clients and the Birthing Better skills, of which some of them were in the pink kit that Jeannie had and we launched as a trust in 2000. That means for 22 years, I have been the person in the video of the pink kit, and nobody has said, well, who is that woman? Nor on our YouTube channel with 500 videos of my talking, nor in all of the courses that we've put out has anyone said, who's this woman? Now the fact is, that's been what our hope was when we created the concept and the skills, is not to bring it forward because of one important person, but to bring it forward because of our universal truth. 100% of pregnant women are going to give birth one way or another. And it's an activity that we're doing. And what families taught me is that we do that activity better when we have some level of skills. My generation in 1970, from the 50s to the mid-70s, knew that because the first childbirth preparation classes ever taught were entirely skills-based, Lamaze and Bradley. We didn't have any choices. But when I gave birth last in 1982, all those skills had disappeared because famous birth advocates said cows and cats aren't taught to birth, women don't need to, we just need to be left alone, and we can discover birth by ourselves. And so we should just have choices. That's where we are now. If we want to change childbirth, and if you don't think that childbirth needs changing, then you're not in the right place. But if you understand, as I do, something isn't right, then what we're asking you from our trust to your nonprofit is to light a fire under a generational change in childbirth. And we are asking you to do that very simply by taking 5 seconds of your time to say to your clients, you're pregnant, learn some skills, here's a list of skills-based methods. Choose one or more, write down which they've chosen, write down what skills they've learned over time, and then ask them how the skills worked. If we can do that, imagine the 8,000 or 9,000 ICPA members doing that. How many tens of thousands of expectant families are you helping to change how they approach childbirth? A lot. You matter. But you have to do it in a coordinated manner. I can't do it anymore. I'm 78. I've spent 50 years trying. How's that been working? It hasn't, because when we have people, a minority with a strong message and a loud voice, that controls the airways. We know that now. So the reality is 100% of pregnant women are going to give birth one way or another. It's an activity. We have to do that activity no matter how it unfolds, no matter our choices or lack of choices, no matter what we believe, no matter the circumstances, no matter what happens to and around us at the birth. And we all birth better when we use skills. And how do we know that? Well, people in the United States, and this is not true of every country, so we've got to help people understand how this fits into their country's history, as I do in the videos about New Zealand history, which is different, is that we have a choice now. We can grow a self-learning, skilled birthing population through the concept that it makes common sense when you're pregnant to learn some skills, birth and coaching skills and use them to work through the activity of birthing your baby. It's the activity you're doing with your baby. You're parenting your child. If you do it with skills, you'll feel better, no matter what's going on. I don't have to be an important person. Each of you is the important person. And ultimately, you don't have to be the important person. Ultimately, that woman and man who you have inspired to learn some skills and have used the skills in the activity of birthing their baby will tell you that they felt more empowered. And how do we know this? Because in my generation, the first childbirth classes ever were entirely skills-based. Lamaze and Bradley. We didn't have choices. So we had a generation, multiple millions of families who used the first ever skills in their births in the United States, mostly in hospital environments, and we birthed better. How did we birth better? No, we didn't all achieve that natural birth. No, we didn't all achieve that pain-free birth. No, we didn't all achieve that birth without medical interventions. Most of us weren't even gunning for that one. What did we achieve? We reduced and prevented the suffering associated with our humanity when we lack skills to work through the activity of birthing our baby. So I hope this will inspire you. Don't focus on me. Focus on the concept. It will take you 5 seconds to give it. Hi, you're pregnant. Learn some skills. Here's a handout. Choose one or more. Write down what they've chosen. Write down what skills they've learned over time. And then ask them how the skills work. We'll know more. We know that skills work because we've been doing this for 50 years. And we know because my generation, multiple millions of men and women, use some levels of skills to do the activity birthing our babies, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of what happened to us around us, regardless of the medical care that was foisted upon us or that we chose to have. We birth better when we're skilled. Please be inspired to come along. Please ask questions, and I'm going to be posting videos regularly, and I'm creating a course for you guys that go through all of the nuts and bolts of how we got here now. And remember, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results. We need a generational change in childbirth, and our trust believes that ICPA is the perfect organization to create that tipping point and be that 100th monkey that Justin talked about in the conference. So come on board.